Okay, thank you for joining me on another episode of Over the Humps. I wasn't able to shoot a show last week, unfortunately, had quite a few things come up, but I'm back. Woohoo! A lot has happened in the sports world since my last show. So we're going to get right into it. We're going to talk about the NBA playoffs. Let's get into it. So, as of right now, the Nets and Bucks are tied 2-2. The Clippers and Jazz are tied 2-2. The Hawks and Sixers are tied 2-2. And the Suns already swept the Nuggets. So, to be honest, it's been a little hard for me to watch this year's playoffs. And no, it's not just because my Lakers got knocked out. You know, that's a topic for a different day. Don't worry about that right now. Something just doesn't feel right. I'm gonna guess a huge part of it is gonna be injuries to major stars. That sucks really bad because you want to see the star players play. Especially if you're a Lakers fan, losing Anthony Davis, not fun. But a latest example, Kyrie Irving just recently hurt his ankle. And it didn't look good. We know he's going to be out for the rest of the Bucks series, and it's pretty hard to say when he'd be able to come back, even if the Nets beat the Bucks anyways. James Harden has been injured as well, but it looks like he's now back, which is to start. Besides the injuries, I just feel like there hasn't been a lot of great games this year. There's been a few solid ones here and there. One in particular that was, I would say, the best game of the year was that Nuggets versus Blazers round one triple overtime game when Dame Lillard hit those two clutch three-pointers. That was a great game. Other than that, there's not really a lot of matchups that come to mind. It feels like we've gotten quite a few blowouts this year. I could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure there's been a lot of games that were won by 10 points, 12, 15, even 20. But, you know, still round two. We still have some games left to go. We got a lot of teams tied up 2-2. Still plenty of time to make some magic. Time for stuff to spice up. But before we move on, I want to go ahead and talk about the Phoenix Suns. The Phoenix Suns look incredible this year, even from the beginning, you know. Hats off to Monty Williams. He's done a great job. I thought he should have been Coach of the Year, but it is what it is. Devin Booker absolutely destroyed the Lakers in round one. It was devastating, but, you know, respect to him. He did really good. And Chris Paul at age 36, he's killing it, man. I love to see it. Chris Paul's been one of my favorite players over the last, 10, 15 years. Great guy, great leader. I really, really hope that he gets a chance this year to finally win his first championship. And I think this could be, you never know, you know? The Suns already swept the Nuggets, as I mentioned earlier. And the Nuggets have this year's league MVP, Nikola Jokic. And obviously they destroy the Lakers. We don't have to touch back on that again. But I think Phoenix is going to be the representative out of the West for the NBA Finals this year. I think regardless of who wins between Utah and the Clippers, I think Phoenix is going to beat them. I think they will be the Western Conference champions. I have a good feeling about that. As far as the East, that's a little bit up in the air right now. For most of the season, it's been Brooklyn. KD, Irving, James Harden, DeAndre Jordan, Blake Griffin. They had LaMarcus Aldridge for like a week. They have been the heavy favorites to not only win the East, but they've been the heavy favorites to win the whole thing. The injuries are concerning, though. Like we mentioned earlier, Kyrie's going to be out for Lord knows how long. James Harden's just barely coming back, and I feel like they're rushing him. Kevin Durant has a history of injury issues. If they're healthy, it's pretty clear and cut that they're going to win the whole thing. But that's a big, big if. So for now, I'm going to say it is going to be Brooklyn versus Phoenix in the NBA Finals. But, we still got a long ways to go before we get there. But let's go ahead and transition to the NFL. Now, this happened, I believe, 2 weeks ago. Julio Jones finally got traded as he wanted. Let's see. There we go. There's the graphic. There's Julio in that nice Tennessee Titans jersey, number 2. Yeah, you like that Photoshop? I did that myself. I was kidding. I did not do it. But Julio has been wanting to get out of Atlanta for quite a long time now. And by the way, I did predict he was going to get traded to Tennessee on my last show, so shout out to me. That was good. This move makes an already good offense even scarier. They have a solid offensive line. You get a solid quarterback in Ryan Tannehill. You get a Pro Bowl caliber receiver in A.J. Brown. You currently have the best running back in football in Derrick Henry. I'm not in love with the defense by any means, but shoot, if you're scoring 30, 40 points a game, it doesn't matter. That usually is going to win you some football games. I'm not ready to call them the favorites in the AFC right now. Obviously, we still got Kansas City, Buffalo, Cleveland looks really nice. But, we got mini camp going on right now. Training camp's going to come up, preseason. Still got a long ways to go before the season starts up. Get a little bit more, get a clearer picture around that time because injuries happen. Trades still happen, free agent signings happen, young players end up stepping up out of nowhere in training camp. So, I'm not going to speculate on that quite yet, but we'll see what happens in a few months. Now, the last topic for the day is something I haven't talked about on the show yet. That's boxing. Not just any boxing. 2 weeks ago, Logan Paul, or was it Jake Paul? It doesn't really matter. One of the Paul brothers. They fought Floyd Mayweather, one of the greatest boxers of all time, undefeated record. And I gotta say, that was the greatest fight in professional boxing history. Better than Ali versus Frazier. Okay, yeah, that was a joke. The fight was absolute garbage, and I'm glad I didn't actually pay for it. Both these men were obviously just looking for a payday, a ridiculous payday at that too. With Floyd Mayweather himself, he called it a legal bank robbery. And I think that's the best way to put it. Robbed millions of people. I believe they were charging $50 for the fight. I watched it on a stream. So, yeah, I'm not going to say what kind of stream. It was just a stream. Don't worry about that. Anywho, I'm not a huge boxing guy. I've watched before in the past here and there. But this trend of famous amateur boxers has been really interesting lately. We've seen the last, I want to say, year and a half, Nate Robinson, Chad Johnson, also known as Chad Ochocinco, Lamar Odom, Aaron Carter, the Paul brothers, KSI, and I'm sure there's more I'm missing, but you get the point. The only thing I can say about all of that is that it does have me watching boxing again, just out of pure curiosity. I've always been more of a UFC guy, a lot more action there, feels a lot more real. But I can't help but watch these non-professional boxers get in the ring. It's like watching a car wreck. You definitely shouldn't look, but sometimes you take a peek, even against your best judgment. I'm very much looking forward to the next celebrity boxing match, which I'm hearing is going to be former NFL running back Marshawn Lynch versus Drake Bell of Drake and Josh. What a fight that's going to be. Okay, that's not real, but boy, I would pay to watch that one. That would be interesting. Let's make it happen. Anyways, that is going to be it for today. I've actually come up with a lot of different ideas for the channel other than the talk show you're currently watching now. And I'm almost ready to put it out there. I'm going to be honest, doing all of this, it takes a lot of work. It's essentially just myself and an editor that I have doing all of this. So in the near future, I'm looking to put a team together and start having guests on the show. I want to put better content out there, and I want more content out there, and I want more content out there faster because it's kind of taking a while right now. But hopefully that all comes to fruition pretty soon here. For now, thank you to anyone that is tuned in right now, to my family, my friends, all the good people of the world. I hope you have a great day and a great weekend. Peace out. Oh, hi, I didn't see you there. You thought the show was over, didn't you? It is.